Hey everybody, and welcome back once again to Kiki's Kitchen. I've had a good time this afternoon cooking in my kitchen. It's, like I said, it's been a while since I've had a little marathon, and I have today. So tonight what I'm making is these are giant Portobello mushrooms, and I am making stuffed mushrooms with Italian meat. I'm kind of making a pizza sort of thing. I'm going to stuff them with Italian meat, which I'll get to in a minute, and a little bit of mozzarella cheese and tomato sauce, and then I'm gonna bake them first, and then I'll come back and add the toppings and put them back in and bake them again. So they'll be like little mini pizzas. Now here's a funny story. My husband has been through my whole marriage not liking mushrooms. When he got COVID, his taste buds kind of gradually started to change, and it was a texture thing with him for mushrooms. He never minded the flavor, so I could put them in things. I would just leave them big and he would pick them out. But now he's liking mushrooms. So we're putting him to the test tonight and giving him a big giant one. He doesn't know this yet. So when you get it, it kind of looks like this. This is the stem, and then these things are the gills. And we're gonna clean that out. Now neither one of those things will hurt you at all. And you can usually just kind of rock the stem back and forth and it will pull for you. And a lot of times you can take those, chop them up, and put them in your stuffed mushrooms, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a presentation thing. And then with these gills, I'm going to just gently scrape and they will come away. You see that? So I'm just going to scrape it all out. See, they just come away. So, and again, people eat the gills. I just like them gone. They're not attractive to me. So I'm gonna get rid of those. But they're completely edible. I wanna make sure I say that. Now the other thing is there is controversy, and I am not a chef. I just do what I like to do. There are chefs that will say you don't have to wash a mushroom. Just lightly dust it off with a paper towel or whatever. I don't go with that. As you can see, I run it under water. And then I take my paper towel and absolutely dry it up. I don't do this with smaller mushrooms, but I'm stuffing these. So if I can see dirt on something I'm going to eat, I'm going to wash it. And I've never seen a mushroom yet that didn't have dirt on it. So you do what you want to do, but I wash them. That's just me. So now I have these two beautiful big mushrooms, and they're ready to rock and roll. We're going to take them to the next step. I have a little cookie sheet. I have my oven preheated at 450 degrees. I have a cookie sheet that I have sprayed. I'm going to put my mushrooms on that. I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to go on the outside first and just drizzle it a little tiny bit with some olive oil and get that all nice and rubbed around the top of this. Now, so here's the deal. We're going to stuff these things, but I want to cook them first, because if I stuff them and cook them, they won't be done enough. So we're gonna pre-cook them, and then we're gonna stuff them and just throw it in and melt the cheese, because everything else will be cooked. So I have and you wanna put the salt on it. The salt will draw the moisture out, because they're gonna be very moist. And a little pepper. I'm making them Italian, and it's me, so a little garlic, granulated garlic, and a little oregano. And I always tell you, crush it up with the heel of your hand, open it up a little bit, and it just dawned on me, I have fresh oregano that I'm growing outside. I could go get. Okay, so we're gonna flip these. We're gonna duplicate what we did. Now, what's gonna happen also, just so you know that this is coming, is you need to have a rimmed lined baking sheet, because there's a lot of moisture in these things. And they are going to, the cap here will fill with liquid from the mushroom. And we're gonna dump that out before we fill it. But that's all normal stuff. That's just, they're just fibrous, but yet they've got a lot of moisture in it. And this salt is gonna draw the moisture, and that's what we want it to do. And pepper. Just a touch of garlic. And again, some oregano. So we're just doing our Italian spice combo. I'm gonna do a little of that. I love putting them on the grill with Worcestershire sauce. I mean, to me, you can make these things taste very, very burger-like. So now at this point, they're ready to go. They're gonna go into the oven, and I'm gonna switch you around to the other side so that we can fry up some meat, okay? So hang in there. Okay, so we're back on my stove side of the kitchen, and we're gonna make some Italian meat. Now, I have in this pan, I have browned about a pound of ground beef, ground chuck, and I have a pound of sweet Italian sausage, and I have 3 Aldi hot sausages, Italian sausage in here. 2 or 3, I don't remember. The reason is because Aldi hot sausages are hot sausages. I mean, they really are, and I love them, but I know the audience that I'm cooking for, making this meat for, and while they'll like spice, I mean, when I tell you the Aldi hot Italian sausage that's hot is hot, I'm not kidding you. It really is. So I have got this meat browned up pretty good, and it's not all the way cooked. What I like to do is I like to brown my meat, and then just almost to where it's almost done, which this is where this is. This isn't quite done yet. And then I like to drain any excess grease from it, and then I go back and start doing my spices and let it finish browning with my onion, and so that I don't because when I drain this, because I put it in a colander and put it in a pan in my sink and drain the oil into the colander into a pan and then throw that into a separate container to get rid of it. But when I do that, I don't want to throw away all my spices, so that's why I brown it off lightly first and then drain it. So I have my onion, and I just did a video on how to pickle onions, and see this is a wet paper towel, and I'm putting it right there on my cutting board, and when I cut onions, the fumes of the onion are drawn to the water, the water in your eyes, which is why your eyes tear up. So, if you put something down here, if you put a wet paper towel down by your onion, it will save your tears, and it really works. So try it. So I am dicing my onion. You've seen me do this a million times, and it allows for them all to be of the same shape and size so they cook evenly. So let's get those in there. My mushrooms are in the oven, and I've got them set. They're in the oven. I've got the timer set for 25 minutes, and that should do it. And like I said, they will be watery. That's why you want a rimmed baking dish so that you don't have that stuff running all over your, all over your oven, for goodness sakes. That would be bad. And then we'll take them out. We'll dump all that water, fill them, and put them back. Then, of course, I'm going to add some cloves of garlic. Like I said, I'm making this. Now, I'm not going to use, I only have 2 mushrooms. You saw that, right? So I'm making this because when I make meat like this, I like to mix in the Italian sausages, the sweet and the hot, and to get my ratios right, I end up with a lot, but I can freeze it. But what I have other plans for this week. I want to make something else which will be a surprise for you. But it will start with this Italian meat base. So I have minced up my garlic, and in it goes. Do not be afraid of fresh garlic, y'all. I mean, that was 3 cloves of garlic. It will, when it cooks, it mellows and gives background flavor. It is not at the forefront of anything. Yes, you'll taste some garlic to it, but it is not anything that will linger with you. Not that much anyway. This is a big pot. This is a really big pot of meat. Now I'm going to add about a teaspoon of oregano. I always, like I said, I always grind it up in my hand. But the truth is, I really would like to get one of these. These are great. My BFF sent them to me. You'd probably see me with them all week. They're gravity grinders, but anything in them. And it would be great for oregano. And you just pour, and you pour it, tip it upside down, and it does the work for you. It lights the way, and it's awesome. It is an awesome thing. Some pepper. I mean, you just hold it, you do nothing. You grind, you do nothing. It's awesome. So now we're going to stir that around and let those onions cook. I'm actually going to put a lid on it and let them steam a little minute and get all that done, and we'll be right back. So hang in there. Okay, our meat is done. Nice and brown. So now I'm going to add, and this is a quart, so, and this is my canned tomatoes that I do, but you would use a quart of, or, you know, one of the big cans, the 30, I think it's 32 ounce of diced tomatoes. That would work well in here. And then, I'm going to, and I've got my flame up high because I'm going to turn this into something else too. I'm not making spaghetti sauce per se. I am going to add a little red wine to it though, because it just brings out the best in all of it. Add a little red wine. And stir this. I'm going to put the cover back on it, and I'm going to let it kind of all meld together for about 15 minutes or so. I'll be back. Hang in there. So I added, you know, my diced tomatoes to it, and I went ahead and added a jar of this tomato basil pasta sauce, because when I thought about what it is I'm going to make with it tomorrow, I thought I really do want it to be a thicker sauce. So I went ahead and added that. I get that at Aldi, and it's very good. I mean, it's a great, quick, handy little thing. So I'm going to let this kind of, I've got 8 more minutes on my portobellos. So I'm going to let this cook for the 8 minutes, and I'll see you back then. Hang in there. Okay, our mushrooms are done, and do you see all the liquid in there? So I'm going to drain that off. Hang on 1 second, and I'll be back over here, and we'll fill them. Okay, we're ready to fill these. So what I'm going to do is move this out of the way so you can see. Ta-da, much better. And this is screaming hot. So I'm going to start building these. I'm going to put a little parm down on them. Grated parm is what I've got here. I'm going to put a little mozzarella, because we are cheese people, as I tell you all the time. I'm going to put a little mozzarella in there. And then I'm going to fill them with the meat. I've got a slotted spoon because I don't want the juice. I don't want the sauce. The meat is flavored nicely with the sauce already. I'm going to overfill them. Stack that back up. This one doesn't really have a lip. This one will be mine, you know that. And all right, move you back out of the way. A little bit more parm. You know, and if there's and you know, you don't have, this is a way to do it. I'm doing them Italian tonight. You can do them, you can do them just caprese. You can do them just with mozzarella cheese and fresh tomatoes and basil. I mean, that would be just delicious too. So there's, you know, you can stuff them any way you want to stuff them. I'm showing you how to prepare the mushroom to stuff it however you want to stuff it. Top it with mozz. A slice probably would work really well here. But that's good. And back in the oven for, you know, as long as it takes to melt this, right? So 5 minutes. It's still at 450. Truth is, I'm going to turn the oven way back down, back to 350. And it will just, because it's already at 450, it'll take maybe 5 minutes. So, that's that. I'll show you the finished product in a minute. Hang in there. Okay, so here we go. And that's our finished product. And they're beautiful and they smell delicious. And this was a simple little Caesar salad, and it's a great dinner. So I hope you try it. Great, great dinner. So I'll see you later. Bye.